Welcome to Band Geek. I'm Richie Castellano. Joining me today is my amazing favorite person, drummer, collaborator, guy, blonde-haired person, Andy Escalise.
You're amazing.
And over here to my left is one of the greatest guitar players I know, the incredible Andy Graziano.
That's nice.
And now, if you notice, we have a camera switch because back there is Brandy Metaxas, the director of the episode, the off-screen lady, the Wilson of Band Geek. Brandy's staying off camera to be mysterious, so
That's what I do.
yeah. Brandy, we love you. We can't do this without you.
Aw,
Never
thanks.
stop being you, okay? And now, one of my favorite people, Vinny Innocente. How about that? The man of 1,000 songs, the reigning champion of Encore, the guy you want with you in the trenches
Of Encore.
when the drunk girls start asking for songs at the gig.
That is true.
You know, Freebird?
Can we put my drink on your man?
Where's that bar? I want to go to that bar. And our special guest today is this is someone I've wanted to have on the show for a very long time. You weren't really doing music. You were retired for a brief moment, but now you're back, and since you're back in action, it's great to have you back doing music. And this happens to be my sister-in-law, Anne Marie's sister, Emily Nacchio.
Thanks.
Emily is one of my favorite people, and one of the most talented and craziest people I know, as you admit. Yep. So you're back doing music.
Yes.
What are you doing right now?
Right now, I am going to open mics.
Mm-hmm.
I am hitting up just local venues. I'm playing with Shorty Long and the Jersey Horns in New Jersey. We're going all over Atlantic City, LBI, areas like that. So I'm just getting my feet wet, back in the scene again.
So what did you do? When did you get into music?
When I was a kid, my sister and I sang in the choir in church, and our mother would sing with us at home. Our father started playing guitar more around the house, and we just have always been a musical family.
So the thing I want to point out that we don't really talk about in the show too much, because I think we did an Anne Marie episode, right? We talked all about Anne Marie's background. If we haven't, I apologize.
I don't know that we did.
You know, we did a Q&A episode with me and Anne Marie, a streaming Q&A episode. That was fun. But I don't think I've ever mentioned this on the show, that you have two very musical parents as well. My father-in-law, Guy, is a blues dude. He's a singing guitar player and harmonica player, and I was actually his guitar teacher for a while, and you subbed for me when I was teaching him, right?
Couple times.
The other thing to mention is your mom, who happens to be my mother-in-law. See how this works?
Really?
She's a wonderful singer. She has a really bluesy, smoky voice, and I remember hearing her do "Summertime" once at some party, and it was really awesome. Do you want to give us a little bit of that?
Sure.
You do that?
Yes.
What feel? All right, let's agree on a feel, because this is what you
Slow
pick.
and steady.
The slow one that we.
Slow
okay.
and steady.
All right, you, Maestro.
Jim Morrison's here.
Oh yeah. WBG Radio.
Contribute with low tone.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Thanks for mentioning that.
You're
What a
hired.
segue. If you would like to contribute to Band Geek, please use our link, which is richiecastellano.com/tipjar. And that's a regular PayPal form. So if you like what we're doing, you like what you're hearing, and you want us to do more, or if you want to like maybe nudge us to do a little special fan request. Oh, that's coming up very soon, by the way. We're in the process of doing the fan request show. We have 4 songs that we've picked from 4 Band Geek super fans, and they're all really tough. Thanks, guys. So we're going to do that. That's coming up in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. But that's richiecastellano.com/tipjar, and that's to contribute to Band Geek. And for those of you who have been doing that, we really appreciate it. Thank you. If you use Amazon, go to riotcast.com/bandgeek, and there's an Amazon banner at the top of the page. Click that before you do your shopping, and a small percentage of your purchase goes to supporting the show and doesn't cost you anything extra. So thank you very much for that.
Hey, I have Amazon. I should do that.
You should.
You haven't been doing
hate
it
you.
this whole time. Just go there once. Look, go to the
not good at the
riotcast.com/
intertubes.
No, just do it and then bookmark it. And so now every time you go to Amazon, I did it for my mom's computer.
I did a physical bookmark, like a.
Yeah, like knit one. I don't know what that means.
Knit one. So we're gonna actually do another tune right now, and it's a tune you picked. Why did you pick this song? Terrible way to put that.
Which tune?
We're gonna do Valerie. So why did you pick Valerie?
Why? Well, I sing it well.
Honesty.
No, I already know the lyrics and I didn't have to look at the iPad.
That's good.
No,
All valid
I
reasons.
enjoy it and I sing it about 4 times a week, and I'm.
Oh, is Valerie on the band list?
No.
No. Okay.
Why is it banned?
We did an episode early on called the band
I
list
think that
of
might have
songs.
been my first episode.
Yeah, songs we never ever want to play again on this show.
It was like
Is that
Sweet
one of
Home
them?
Alabama.
Yes, Sweet
Don't
Child of
Stop
Mine.
Caroline.
Sweet Caroline.
All the sweets.
All the sweets.
All the
Yeah.
sweet.
Sweet Caroline.
We did. Yeah,
You
we
have a
did.
sweet tooth.
No, I like American Girl.
That is true.
American girl.
So we did.
All stuff like that.
Brown Eyed Girl.
Brown Eyed Girl.
Yeah.
Of course. Oh, we did Stairway too.
Yeah, but I don't think that's on the band list. I think we just. Oh,
That's just banned from the shop.
Did you physically perform them all?
Yeah.
we
And
played
say,
them all.
yeah,
Said,
one
we
and
did
done.
like-
Like,
this is it. We're not doing this anymore after that. So forget it.
I think it was like Summer of '69 was one of them. Maybe.
Really?
Something like
I don't
that.
remember. It's been so long. We've been doing this so many years now. You know.
It's all old hat.
for some reason, I don't know why, but this Valerie became like a standard. Like last couple of years, like It's not. People think it's like Amy Winehouse who wrote it. It's the Zootons.
The Zootons.
The name of the band. And it has like a.
And it's the same melody and everything?
Yeah.
You mean Mark Ronson didn't write that?
No.
Okay.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things, what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. Well, since you come on home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. I want you come on over, stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Did you have to go to jail? Put your house out up for sale? Did you get a good lawyer? I hope you didn't catch a tan. I hope you found the right man who will fix it for you. Are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? And did you have to pay that fine that you was dodging all the time? Are you still dizzy? Well, since you come on home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. I want you come on over, stop making a fool out of me. I said, why don't you come on over, Well, since you're coming home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. I want you come on over, stop making a fool out of me. I said, why don't you come on over, Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things, what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. But since you come on home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. I want you come on over, stop making a fool out of me. I said, why don't you come on over,
Nice. You got that chord in there, Vinny. Very nice.
Major 7.
So this is called Band Geek. So you got to tell us what is your like secret nerdy thing that you do?
Oh, besides hang out with you?
You know what? I'm pretty sure that's
Besides have lightsaber battles in the backyard the other night?
sick burn, by the way, sick burn. But
It's no longer a secret. You're on the air.
I think hanging out with me is the nerdiest thing anybody can do. I can't bring you anywhere, man.
I spilled
I think the rug absorbed it.
Broken.
some kind of a hard seltzer. That whenever I come over, I go into the drawer of things that nobody wants to drink, and I take some. You got a napkin?
We'll do that later.
I'll use my face.
Okay, when you're not hanging out with me, what's your nerdy things that you're into?
I play Legend of Zelda 64.
You still have a Nintendo 64?
I still have a Nintendo 64.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my generation's Sega Genesis, I guess.
What's your favorite video game?
Zelda
Zelda?
64, Ocarina of Time, hands
I,
down.
I think this is a good opportunity to go around the room. Favorite video game? And I'm not going to start with Andy because I feel like I'm going to be disappointed by what he says or by what he doesn't say. So we'll start with you.
Let's see. I believe.
On Nintendo 64?
No, on any system, any video game you've ever
That's
played.
a really hard choice.
Reflect back on your whole life right now. When we go
GoldenEye
around.
was awesome.
What?
GoldenEye was awesome on 64.
Okay. Oh, Andy pulling it out.
Well,
Yo, I have
the
Doom
camera
on
wasn't
64.
on you, sorry.
Castlevania? Come on.
Okay, so yours is GoldenEye?
On Nintendo 64.
No, it could be on any system.
All right. Yeah, I'll just go with that. That's fine.
I'm a big fan of SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain. PS2 and the Warriors. Rockstar's
Which
the
one
Warriors.
is SmackDown Bring the Pain?
Here Comes the Pain is
Here Comes the Pain.
With Lesnar on the
2003
cover?
with Brock Lesnar on the cover. That is
Yes.
the most fun because the creative character was so great and the action was just fast and fun. And after that, they got like too in depth with the stuff.
Actually, you know what?
And
I'm gonna-
it erased the enjoyment out of it all.
No, I'm gonna do something else. I don't have that.
You don't have what I'm
I made what, 1 year.
Oh.
Oh wait, whoops. 1 year
Something
I
important
made
just happened?
Flashback.
1 year I made the whole. I made everybody I know on
yeah.
one of those games.
I
Which
remember
one was that? Was that
That
2003?
was SmackDown, wasn't it?
No,
Smack-
it was probably SmackDown versus Raw because it was a couple
Right.
of years later.
We put my tattoos on the back of mine. That was fun.
And by the way, my friend of mine, Chris Glorioso, you might know him as Bo Gorgeous. I feel like today's WE has stolen him, and they've turned him into a couple of different guys. He's Enzo Amore, and he's also the Glorious One. They stole both of those gimmicks, and they made two different wrestlers out of them. So
Bobby
Bo,
Roode.
Check this out.
oh my God, oh
Is
I
this
love
our
it.
battle?
So right now we're looking at that's all of Blue Oyster Cult, including Rudy Sarzo and Danny Miranda playing. If you're listening to this on the audio version of the podcast, just type in Richie Castellano SmackDown on YouTube,
Oh, that's
and you'll
funny.
see this.
Is this how you guys act after shows?
So yeah, basically we would make each other in the games and play, and it's good times.
All the things you want to do after shows, you could do on there.
So I did that, and I made Emily, I made Anne Marie, and I made all Anne Marie's girlfriends, and they had like a nice sexual fight on my screen.
Every man's virtual dream.
Yes, but the funny thing about you is that you're like, oh, you got to get my tattoos. I'm like, okay, and she's like, hold on, and she like takes her shirt off in the middle. Like, so get my tattoos. You got to get my tattoos.
You gotta get it right,
Yeah,
Rich.
no, that's not wrong. That's the wrong tattoo.
Fabulous.
So yours is Zelda. What's
Mine's
what's
Zelda.
yours, Vinny?
I really don't play. I guess if we go to 64, I loved was it
Why is it past tense?
Super Smash Brothers? 'Cause I really
Oh,
don't play
yeah.
video games so much. But
He's
Takes time away from learning
He's the
songs.
only band geek
So
who's not
you're
an
the
actual
only
geek.
band?
I'm not
You're
really-
just the band?
I have other nerdy things
Actually-
if you consider like watching wrestling to be like a nerdy geek.
I
thing,
do.
So now
I'm a hardcore like
let's-
wrestling fan.
Yeah.
let's stop with this watching wrestling. Tell your real talent about wrestling.
Are you a wrestler?
Oh, what I used to
Yes.
do. Okay, so when I was, this is your episode, but
No, Vinny, please go. You can't
when
stop
I,
now.
No, when I was like 13, 14, 15ish area, I used to make custom wrestling figures and sell them.
Oh.
That is
So-
they're and I've seen stuff online like just people go nuts
No,
over
they
like
go out-
making
yeah, it's-
custom figure stuff that like maybe a guy who had an outfit once and like people will make
So,
that
yeah.
figure out of something else.
I'm
It's
now
just-
making your gray shirt blue.
Yeah, no, or like I would take like you'd go buy like the figures and then take them apart for parts. So
Okay.
I'd use like Kurt Angle's torso with Shawn Michaels pants and someone else's head, but then I would like sculpt and paint, and I really go nuts on it.
Vinny, I apologize. That's
you.
pretty nerdy.
It's very nerdy.
That's okay, man.
nerdy, too.
You know what?
It's over.
Welcome.
Thank you for accepting
This is
me
a
for
safe
who I
space
am.
for you. Okay? You do what you want.
You passed the test.
before.
This is a whole new realm of
No, but
This is Vinny's coming out
No,
party.
I would but then I would I made it a profitable business. I would make them and then put them in a box. I'd put them back in the packaging.
Yeah.
Then make my own packaging, and then like say if the wrestler that I made was having an autograph signing, I'd go and I'd get that signed, and then sell the signed custom figure online.
dope.
People bought them.
That's awesome.
People bought them. So
It's really impressive.
Very
actually.
it
nice.
was a very entrepreneurial young lad.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Brandy, favorite video game?
Okay, so I can't remember any 64 games. What?
Oregon Trail.
I loved Oregon
No,
Trail.
I didn't.
Beanies.
I did. I really enjoyed the games I used to play on my Commodore 64 because I'm old. But we played all the Olympics game. Like Decathlon was the Atari version, but on the Commodore 64 you had like winter games and summer games, and like we would play those for hours. But I think that by the time I got a 64, I didn't have time to play video games. I mean, I guess you still have time to play video games, but
I rarely play
I'm
them.
remembering. I like to play Medal of Honor.
Oh, so
World
you
War-
like the
World War
shooting
II,
games.
game. That was.
and
good.
then like
I used to play
your
that a
classic
lot.
Halo.
And Halo.
Another
of course.
franchise, by the way, that's amazing
Halo.
and underrated. Ratchet and Clank.
Yes.
Those games are absolutely fantastic.
I think my brother
They're like
played that.
space age fun, good times.
Richie, what's your favorite video game?
Thank you, Brandy.
You're welcome.
Brandy's already good at this. I suck at this. But I think my favorite video game is Artemis.
Yes. Oh my dude.
Because I just feel like what happens, the game just...
What is that game?
What?
What?
Artemis?
Get out.
Someone kick
Isn't
him
that the
out.
drummer
Oh,
from
thank you.
Artemis
Artemis Pyle.
Leonard Skinner.
Artemis is a very simple game in concept, but it just facilitates the most amazing times I've ever had in my life. It's a Starship Bridge Simulator game where everybody picks like one position. Actually, 3 of the people in this room are on the dream team. That's right. Emily is usually the gunner.
Emma Nukes.
Emma Nukes. Brandy's usually the science officer, right?
Yes, I am.
And what are you usually?
Engineering.
Or captain.
Or captain.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm also calm sometimes.
Did
So I harass people into surrendering. I'm good at that.
We played the other day, and we were really terrible, and we were dying, and we had like good players with us, and Tony Hansen, who was the captain, he goes, I bet the Ascalise family doesn't have this problem when they play.
Tony's serious.
Yeah, because Andy's family used to play after like Sunday dinner.
We
So-
played once, but it was amazing.
Once or twice.
Aside from like that, because that's like a different. So that's not like a solo
Right.
play. I think my favorite game that I got like the most hours on is Star Wars Jedi Outcast.
Was that the game that you you got the mods to make your own skins? And
Oh yeah, I
stuff?
know where you're going with this.
They're like,
You guys know, everybody knows me. I'm a tinkerer. I like to like. I like to mess with stuff.
No.
And I opened up the game folder and I saw all the WAV files for each character, like all the MP3 files for their like die Jedi, all those files, and I found their faces stretched out in 2D, right?
Whoa.
And that's what they were using to populate the game. So I picked a character I didn't really like too much, like henchman number 4, and I grabbed a picture of Tony Sirico, the actor who plays Paulie Walnuts on The Sopranos, and I stretched it. I photoshopped out. I stretched his face over that, saved it, right, wrote it to the file, and I deleted all those, die Jedi, Jedi scum. I deleted all those, and I put like, oh, your sister's ass, oh, so. I sent the file to all my friends because they have to have the file local. I'm like, put this in your base folder. Okay. So we're playing, and all of a sudden, Paulie Walnuts appears, right? Oh, get out of here! Get your sister's ass! You know, it's just cursing. So yeah, I went deep in that game.
Great.
I was talking to my dad the other day about like all this sort of like geek stuff that I'm into, and you know, he made a sort of little bit of a snide remark about me building lightsabers in my kitchen. So I said, yeah, but you gotta understand something. All the geek stuff, like when you really get into it, like the tinkering, like I learned how to use computers better doing that. You know what I mean? The lightsaber stuff, I got better at soldering, and then I had to change my pickups on my guitar the other day. I was like, this is kid stuff. This is like so much easier than changing, than wiring up a lightsaber. What?
And you never did that.
No, because I was about to. I got a new guitar. I got a Strat, and I wanted to change the pickups in it. I got a nice set of DiMarzios. And I was like, I got to bring this to my my tech to change the pickups. I'm like, what am I doing? I literally just finished soldering like 5 lightsabers. I was like,
the soldering iron is still on the kitchen table.
The soldering iron is on the kitchen table, still hot. I was like, I'm an idiot. I was like, it actually took me longer to take the strings off than it did for me to put the pickups in. I was like, oh, zip, 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 done. Thank you very much. I was like, this is so ridiculous. And another thing that really taught me a lot, and I mentioned this to my dad, was that if it wasn't for me doing the Tiger's Fang movies, I would never know how to do all this video editing. There'd be no Bohemian Rhapsody video. There'd be no Band Geek. There'd be no split screen videos or any of the stuff I'm doing, because like I picked something that I was into, like Kung Fu and Kung Fu movies, and I taught myself editing and camera stuff. And I think it's good to have hobbies like that. Sure. But I actually, if you notice, I just did a smooth segue into the next thing I want to...
That was really nifty.
Yes. I'm going to show you the first collaboration I ever did with Emily. Now I'm going to show you a scene from, I think, the greatest Tiger's Fang film I've ever directed. The best one in the series, if you ask me. This is Tiger's Fang 7, The Treacherous Path, and it has my favorite scene in it, which is coming up right now.
Whenever I see Omar, I just laugh.
Yes.
Little glasses.
You guys see this?
Liberty Park.
There he is.
One-eyed Wayne.
How can we tell which one's a tiger's fang? I have an idea. Excuse me. Excuse me!
My favorite is Amory's face right here. Right there.
We're looking for members of the Tiger's Fang only. The rest of you can go back to your drinks. Now, if you're part of the Tiger's Fang, step forward and nobody will get hurt.
All right.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
So, yes.
You remember when we recorded that?
I do. I want to give a little background to that really quick, because here's how we did it. I wrote the words to a song, just to be like sort of sappy, like, you know, I love my man and I want to treat my man well, and let's sort of like, you know, that like cheesy, pulpy kind of stuff you see in all
Billie
those
Holiday
like
stuff.
yeah, like all, but you know, not even like, you know, those like bad detective movies or
Yeah.
whatever. So I'm crying right here watching that. That's how it's amazing. But so I wrote the lyrics and then I gave it to my friend Vivian, who speaks Cantonese, right? I said, "Can you phonetically translate this into Cantonese and write it down for me?" And she said, "Yeah." And those were the words you sang. And then the subtitles, I translated it back. I didn't put the original lyrics. I did a bad
Cantonese in.
retranslation.
Like a Google
that's,
Translate.
yeah. So I retranslated the lyrics back wrong.
So he ain't too smart with one O.
Yeah.
But then
So-
you had to learn that and then
But
sing it.
no, but check this out. She came in, she looked at it. I like said, it goes like, well, she in, dun, 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 dun. And I sang it to her. She's like very like mellow and calmly went, okay, yeah, all right, roll it. She did one take, and the wow 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 wow.
I'm laughing in between the take. You gotta cut it out.
Improvised, totally ad libbed. Wow 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 wow. I was sitting there in my studio doing this.
And you were how old? How old was she at this time? Emily, how old were you?
We did
How
years
old was
ago.
I? I was 19, I think.
We did
I was 8. I was 19. 18,
This is
19.
2011.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I was 20.
So, yeah, I was like, this is lightning I'm capturing right now on this, and I was like, if I laugh, the other time that happened is when I was in the studio with Bumblefoot, and he was doing that song "A Girl Like You," right, and he went, you know, the song's going, what have I done
Yeah.
to deserve? Like he was doing all that stuff, and he went at the end of it, he goes,
Yeah.
and then I started laughing. I know if he saw me, he would laugh. I crawled under the console and had a breakdown, right? That was the same. The only other time I experienced that was her doing Dick Lam Yun, going, wow, 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 in my studio. I was like, the thing that killed me about it was like, not only did you sing it good, you understood exactly what I was trying to do. It's like, no, because a lot of singers, you'll bring them down, and they'll just be like, okay, so I'm just gonna sing this straight and do, and I'm like, well, kind of, you know what I mean? But
Reminded
like,
me of Indiana Jones, kind of. You know that scene where they're singing
yeah,
Indiana Jones? That's what I saw when you kind of talked to me about
yeah,
it.
exactly. I mean, that's what we're going for, and you just totally just got it, you know, and that's what. And
I was born for that role, Richard.
You really were. You really were. And then you showed up on set, and you had the whole get up, and everybody was just like, "This is like." I was filming because I think I shot that because I wasn't in that scene. I'm shooting that. I'm like, this is way too good for this movie. Like this scene, like we have a set. You know what I mean?
Your dad's serving bread.
We have a band up there
that looked great.
with like real like an upright bass and a drum
That
set.
looked
Like
really
we have.
good, yeah.
The next one is just as good as 7, though. 8
Yeah, well,
with
if
How many are there?
There's 10.
No, I started watching them. I don't know how far I got though.
Well, now there's a link to the entire thing
Nice.
with extra added like bonus footage.
Bonus
That's
footage is
really
the
funny.
best.
If you want to watch this, they're all on YouTube.
Nice.
By
By the way,
look up Tiger's Fang.
A little just to add on your story about a girl like you. I actually, this is
You played on that, right?
Not very well known. I played the organ part at the end, and Ron did he was working like the Leslie cabinet because I actually had one in the studio. It's an uncredited appearance,
Really?
Uncredited. Whoa. It steals
Uncredited.
money.
so I'm on there.
He already got it, this guy.
Oh, club, yeah.
There's one thing that I feel like you have an innate ability for, and I think the clip we just watched showed that it's not just singing. You sing. You obviously have a wonderful voice, but it's showmanship. Now, is that something you work on, or is it something you just know how to do?
If you ask your wife at any moment, I invented the photo bomb. So I've always been a showman.
Yeah.
I steal attention every chance I get. So it's just kind of something natural.
Well, that's right. Every family photo I see of Amory as a
I'm like
child,
this.
yeah, it's like Emily just like, ah! You know.
Completely spontaneous, right?
Yes.
Now,
no.
oh, how about this?
Yes.
Why don't you give your advice to say someone, because I know quite a few people like this who are tremendous singers but aren't particularly good front men or women. You know what I mean? Like, so what advice would you give to people who are sort of in their shell? Because you obviously have no problem with, just getting out there and doing it. Absolutely. So what would you like? How would you help people who are having the problem where they can't perform as much as they'd like?
Okay, so the first thing is you got to love what you're doing. If you don't love what you're doing, then you shouldn't waste your time doing something that you're doing for attention, but maybe you're not like passionate about it. So you have to definitely make sure you're always passionate about it.
Right.
But what helped me when I was younger and I was starting to perform in like junior high school and high school, my best friend Sarah and her sister Allie told me one day, they're like, you should sing for us. And I was like, I don't know, I'm nervous. I was like getting really nervous. I was still a kid, and they said some really valuable advice to me that ended up sticking with me for over 15 years now. That when someone asks you to sing, you have to have the ability to just on the spot immediately just be able to sing for them, and you just have to constantly practice your art in that way as well. And as I started doing that more, I realized how much more confident I was getting in myself and how I can just be in front of people and just be that person on stage. So now I'm performer Emily on stage.
But that's you. I'm saying, like, if someone is out there and they're singing and they want to be dancing around and jumping around and going crazy, but they just can't do it, like, what would
practice it off stage?
Practice it off stage?
Practice it off stage with your friends, with people you're comfortable with, your family members. Just kind of just don't be scared to be silly, and don't be scared that people are going to look at you that you're doing something wrong or right, because it's only right or wrong to you.
We're going to do something totally different now. We did this in another episode where we played How Deep Is Your Love and then did Holy Diver. And we're going to try to top that today by doing Valerie, and now we're doing Heaven and Hell by Black Sabbath.
I actually have a really funny story quickly about
Go.
Heaven and Hell. When I was younger and my sister was working at Coconuts, before it was FYE.
I used to buy a lot of stuff
on Forest Avenue.
I don't remember that.
So I went, and I was an Ozzy Osbourne fan. I mean, I've been a huge Ozzy fan my entire life. Got to meet him, too. That was amazing. So I go, and I pick out the first Black Sabbath cassette I can find. I'm like, I need to get a cassette. And I grabbed it, and it was Heaven and Hell. So for about a year, I thought that Ozzy Osbourne was Dio.
Oh no!
I had no idea. I was like, I would listen to like Paranoid and stuff, and then I'd be like, wait a second, did Ozzy change his voice? Like, did he like go through something? So for about a year, I thought that Ozzy was Dio.
Now, is that before or after you got the tattoo?
That's before the tattoo.
Like, so, because I was just gonna say, like, you have an Ozzy tattoo.
I have an Ozzy Osbourne tattoo.
And I was gonna say, like, did you get the Ozzy tattoo thinking, like, man, Ozzy was Dio? Like, man, this guy sang Heaven and Hell. You know what I mean? I got his tattoo.
Like have an Ozzy tattoo with Heaven and Hell written underneath it.
That's what you want.
That's the next one.
That's what you want. We're going to do Heaven and Hell. We're going to thank our guest, Emily Nacchio. Also, I want to thank everybody joining me today. Andy Ascalise. Andy Graziano. Vin Innocente. Brandy Metaxas.
Richie Castellano.
Thank you. Okay, so enjoy Heaven and Hell. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.